I would like to sincerely thank the Isaac Regional Council, along with the Regional Arts Development Fund, for their support in bringing you this interview. The Regional Arts Development Fund is a partnership between the Queensland Government and Isaac Regional Council to support local arts and culture in regional Queensland. Every year, 4 of my friends and I take some time to go away on what has become our annual girls' trip. We've seen so much of Australia and have done some really interesting and fun things along the way. This year, though, we've all been extra busy and thought we were going to have to give the whole thing a miss until one of the girls decided we needed to explore our local area. We've just had a fantastic weekend away in Claremont, and I got to thinking how important it is to explore our local regions, no matter where we live, and find out exactly what's on our doorstep. If you do, you might be just as surprised as I was. Jean, thank you very much for joining me today under sufferance. Now, I want to talk about our girls' trips because we're renowned for our wonderful girls' trips. But first of all, I just want to touch on what you've been through, because you've been through a tough time and it wasn't over quickly. So it went on for, quite a while, but nothing ever lasts. And I always looked from the outside looking in. You seemed to handle what you were going through so well. And I want to know how you did that.
Well, Kelly,
because it was a tough time.
It was very tough.
Going into what it was.
Yeah.
But, yep.
And how I coped was I knew I had to get out of bed every day for my children, and so that I was a role model for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you had to get on with your life and make the most of it. You've been through a tough time, well, now you have the good times.
Yeah. And Jen, you seem to, you started exercising, so you started going to the gym and you'd be doing yoga, and I feel like that was such a help to you. Would you agree?
Definitely it was. I started going to gym when about 3 or 4 years earlier, and it just made the whole world of difference to my confidence and just having extra energy and having a more of a positive outlook on life.
Yeah, and I guess having that goal too and I know even myself sometimes I don't feel like, doing something. But once you do it, you think, you sort of get on a high then, don't you?
You do, and you become addicted.
You're an addicted personality.
Yes.
Now, Jen, our girls' trips, there's 5 of us that go away once a year, and we've been to some lovely places and had some really interesting adventures from Melbourne to the ocean to Perth and everywhere in between. But when it's your turn to organise them, you are really great at organising local things. So you grew up in Bundaberg and you took us to Bundaberg one year, and that was so interesting, and I would never have thought that there were things around that region.
Nor did I.
No, well, there you go. But anyway, and this year, because we're all a bit short on time, we have come to Claremont. So you've recently moved into town from your property, and you're showing us what's right on our doorstep. So, and I just think that's great. Like, we would have missed out on so much, and you have done the research. So tell me how.
Well, I knew that Margot always wanted to climb Wolfang Peak, and just driving backwards and forwards to Moranbah and Mackay, I kept looking at it and thought, we could do that. And then I seen where a man was doing guides, Michael, and then I thought, well, we've got our beautiful dam, we've got our lagoon, we've got the museum, and Claremont is just such a lovely little town. Restaurants, pubs that are lovely food, and cafes.
Yeah, and it's something we would never have thought of doing. And to find, for you to find that guide. So we're climbing Wolfhang Peak this afternoon and hopefully coming back down. So we'll give a little update once we've done it. But I thought we better film before we go up, just in case run into trouble. But anyway, that'll be fun. But even to think that there's a guide that does something like that in our local region.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, and, the markets were yesterday. And
yes, the markets.
I think it's really brought home to me that no matter where you live, it's so important to look on your doorstep, doorstep and, make your own fun and get out and do those things. And
that's exactly right.
The restaurant we went to last night was just beautiful.
Very much so. The Red Hide.
And also it's nice to have a little bit of an insight into your life in town now and to meet your friends and we went shopping and marketing and
we went to the football. And that was very good. All my town friends were there and
that's nice, isn't it? Like I've just had an old friend come who I hadn't seen for 30-something years, and we were talking about this, how excited I was that he took the time to come to see me, but to see where I live, what my life is now, meet my family, and for us coming over here, it's exciting for us to meet your friends that you've made in here. And
that's right, absolutely.
Well, Wolfhang Peak we're going to.
Let's hope we make it to the top, Kelly.
I know, Jen. And I did say that I know that we'll be scared and it will be hard, but we're in it together. And
and I'm sure
we'll do our very best.
Yes, we will make it to the top, and and our guide will be wonderful, I'm sure.
Oh, I hope so. You know what? I think you might end up becoming a tour operator for Claremont. You've done such a great job. People are going to be ringing you and saying, Jenny Platt, would you please organise a trip, a girls' trip for us into the town of Claremont? And you'll be able to take them to all the sites that you took us to yesterday and all the best places to eat. And
that's right.
So thanks, Jen. We'll catch up again after we come down the peaks.
All right. Thank you.
Michael, thank you. Jenny and I were talking about you this morning going up the mountain, because I said to Jen, I think we need to talk about what we're doing in case we don't make it back down. But under your guidance, we did. And I said to Jen, it's just been so great to have all these things on our doorstep, in our region, and that, people probably overlook what their homes have to offer, I suppose. So how did you find out and how did you start all this?
Oh, look, it's the Central Queensland Hike and Explore Group's an extension of the Townsville Hike and Explore Group, which is what I do in my spare time. So I build social, engaged, supportive and free outdoor communities. So it's really taken off in Townsville since I've been out here. I wanted to give it a crack, and here we are today, and we've done a few events out here and it's starting to gain a little bit of momentum, which is good. And it's it's always good to be able to get people outdoors. And I often hear about people that have lived in places their entire lives and haven't been able to experience the beauty that lays right on their doorstep. And it's no different out here in the Isaac region. So much to offer, yet and so much opportunity. Yet so many people don't have much of an idea about how much there actually is to do out here, particularly for the outdoor walking, hiking and adventure communities.
Yeah, and Michael, Wolfhang Peak was pretty tricky to do, and we wouldn't have ever been able to do it without someone like you. So it's great that Jen was able to find you on Facebook, and it was all completely free, which is just a bonus and so incredible. But I was asking you about the insurance, so just tell me about how that all works. People just come and look after themselves, basically.
Yeah, look, it's a social hiking and group experience. So it's everybody just comes and at their own risk, and we all look after each other. And obviously on our events pages and stuff, we have personal responsibility statements. So it's not a business of any kind. So people come along at their own risk, and you know, and in the event that someone does need a bit of help, where there's always someone there to give them a bit of help.
Yeah. Well, it's great thing for the community, and I'm sure there's other groups. Like you said, you've been in town. You have another group in Townsville that offers the same thing. I had to wonder, because you've done so many of them, and you know, do you get a little bit complacent sometimes for yourself and think, oh no, do you lose a footing or something and think, oh no, I should have been a bit more careful? Or
I'm known to have more accidents than anyone, I think, and it's usually from taking photos. But I'm always very careful, and I always have a good idea of who I've got with me, and it's always generally people of different ages, fitness levels and capabilities, so you always need to be keeping that in the back of your mind. But you know, I guess I'm the same as any adventurer. You know, I've had the odd trip and fall, or slip, trip and fall here and there, but thank goodness you know, nothing too serious, given the amount of adventuring that we've done, or I've done over the last sort of 3 or 4 years. So yeah, no, I think it's luck's always been on our side, and hopefully it stays that way.
Oh no, it was awesome, Michael, and thank you so much. We've had a fantastic weekend all together here in Clermont, and this has just been the icing on the cake. And it was a bit scary at times, and we knew it would be hard, but we're really glad we made it to the top, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without you. So thank you very much.
Not a problem. Thanks for coming along. It's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks,
Michael.
Carl.
See ya. Jen, we did it. We climbed the mountain.
Oh, you did it.
Well, it did. Like I said this morning, it was going to be hard and a bit scary, and you did so well to get as far as you did. And I guess I'm a little bit taller than you, so I had longer legs and a longer reach, so it was easier for me. But
what a very good experience.
Oh,
it was wonderful.
yeah, you've done very well at organising our girls' trip.
Oh, thank you. It was so easy in Clermont.
Oh, but it's the things that we've done. One thing I forgot to mention this morning that we did was, and I said to you when we were driving around, it was like the Hollywood drive of, you know, going around all the houses. So you know, you have knowledge on the history, and it was lovely. You know, you took us for a drive and said, well, there used to be this house there, but it's been moved or it's been knocked down, and this was where such and such used to live, and there's some beautiful historical homes in Clermont as well. And
there sure is. There's a lot of history in Clermont, and it's just a beautiful little town to visit and live. And it just goes to show me that you know, no matter where you are, you've got to open your eyes up, I think, and you see the forest with the trees. Trees, that's right. Yes, you do. Yes.
Thanks, Jen. We've had a great weekend.
Yes, we have, as always.
Thank you. Thanks so much for watching our video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please try to remember to just click on the subscribe button so we can keep you updated with everything that's happening. Thank you.